Hello, this is 6-Bolt in Von Doom's lab. So this is for the release version 1.1.3c. So the reason why I keep on doing 1.1.3 is because I told people that version 1.1.4 will be the display. So should be the last of the alien gun stuff, which is version 1.1.3. So okay, so one of the things I want to talk about is sorry, I was kind of out for last couple weeks. So what happened is 2 weeks ago, my wife was like, "Oh, let's move the whole basement around, and my daughter can have her office down in the down in the basement where it's finished, and I can move up to where she had her office in the second floor." And yeah, that was yeah. Since I'm not really that healthy, then my wife will do, but I tried to help out, but it just wiped me out. And it took a long time to get back to even where I am, probably like 75%. I'm probably still about like 75% where I was. So I'm still kind of recovering. So it's been probably a little over 2 weeks. So had a lot of pain and a lot of tiredness, but now I'm upstairs in the office, which is nice. My wife bribed me to get my kind of dream monitor. So I used to have a Samsung curved 4K TV as my monitor, and I switched to an LG TV OLED because it's better for gaming and all that. But I always loved the curved, TVs for, I'd like to have just a big monitor in front of me while working. But the only thing that really was out there was the Samsung Odyssey Arc. Then second gen is out now. So actually, my wife bribed me with that, and I was like, okay. So she got me my monitor I wanted. So I've been loving it. So now I have it set up and got everything set up for it. Then of course, I had to put a 10G connection, so I already had fiber optics routed up into this office already, so it wasn't that bad. I just had to order some parts from I got from Amazon, but instead of giving me a SFP plus transceiver, they gave me a tattoo cream, which so I had to wait another day. But I finally got 10G connection to my local network, and I have like a 2 gig connection to the internet. So then I have full access to that 2G connection. So then also I got I put another cheap TV up here to do kind of the light gun stuff too, right next to me. So then I hooked up 2 monitors. But that was kind of the reason why I haven't really been out. I know what happened with the Qt6 Multimedia.dll. So I did do the Qt deploy win, which should tell you everything that you should be adding with the program, but it didn't show up with you needed the multimedia. And why the multimedia DLL is needed because of the sounds I put in. So with those sounds, it needs that DLL to play the sound. So, but I think when I installed Qt with all the stuff with Qt Creator, I think it put it into the Windows directory. So then you don't really need it. Then it doesn't see it. You have it already. So sorry about that. I didn't see it for a day or two while I was recovering from it. But now I updated the version 1.1.3b, to have that DLL, and also you can just download the DLL since it's kind of open source, anyways. So that's the first thing. Second thing, so now I'm kind of getting into the new release for version 1.1.3b. The major thing I fixed was for the delay recoil in the recoil rumble to solenoid. That wasn't really working for the alien gun that uses the USB head. So that would affect Alien 3 game and Terminator 2 game. So that uses the the recoil rumble to solenoid command. So that command just takes the rumble signal and kind of converts it to a solenoid command. So usually when a gun in the arcade, it's usually has like the rumble kind of motor that kind of shakes the gun. So when you hold down the trigger, it just goes high. Then when you pull off the trigger, it goes low. But that doesn't really work for solenoids. The solenoids need those spikes for like pretty much every bullet. So that's kind of why I created that one for that game, because it wasn't really working for it, because they kind of work. Alien 3 has the acceleration, so when you pull the trigger, it should kind of work all right. Then when the power gets down to like a third, it should do, kind of tell you, hey, your power level's getting low. Then Terminator 2 is actually, instead of acceleration, I heard it's a deceleration. I haven't actually played Terminator 2, but I heard it's working, so good. But for the Alien light gun, they couldn't play Alien 3, which is kind of ironic, but now it's fixed. So I checked it out. I actually just hooked up my Reaper gun to it. Then I put the delay recoil onto it with the recoil rumble to solenoid to check it out. It's working. So that's kind of hopefully the end of the Alien USB HID. There's some other small changes to just make it more efficient. So just to make sure, is this a serial port light gun? Is this a USB gun? So that kind of just gets fed in when it loads up the game file. It just kind of puts it into a variable so it knows, hey, this light gun is a USB or not. So then it knows to say go to serial port or go to USB HID kind of thing. So the next second change for C is I added the X Gunner light gun. So this is it's kind of easy to add in. It wasn't really that much change from the other ones. So I just, it was quick. I think it took me like 10 minutes just to add it in. So you should see another xgunner .hor file in the data. Oh yeah, and also for going back to the first one, fixing the delay recoil and the recoil rumble to solenoid, I did change how it's working. So usually for that command, I put like the delay, then I put a recoil command. And I was like, well, it's kind of stupid why it had a recoil command right there. So I just got rid of the recoil command, then it just reads what's in recoil. So instead of having to do it over, just do exactly the same, then instead of just putting the delay time and recoil. So I updated all the HOR files or all the light gun HOR files to, remove the recoil after it, that for the recoil rumble to solenoid command. But okay, so yeah, then I just added the X Gunner light gun. So then the next kind of big one I added in. So if you go to the settings, now you should see for the Reaper, I have removed the 5 LED open, close, and net commands. So a lot of people have noticed after I fixed the one bug, I think it was in version, 1.1.1 or 1.1.0, somewhere around there. I fixed that issue rewriting the whole serial port code. So finally get those 5 LEDs working. So I know some people like it, some people don't like it. So I thought, hey, I'll just try to make it the best out of both worlds. I'll just put a setting in here so you can turn on and off. So if you want to have the Reaper work like it did before, fixing that bug where the LEDs are not orange, and then if you use the ammo value stuff, it will go red. If you want to go back to the way it was working before, you can just turn this command on. So you can actually turn it on, play a game, then when you're out of a game, you can go turn it on, then play another game, and actually see it in use. So you don't need to reload Hook of the Reaper or anything, so you just need to turn it on. But if you're in a game and you bring up the settings, of course, it will stop the Hooker engine and just stop everything. So So you don't want to do that. It just has to, that's why you'll see a stop at the bottom or down here. Because, if you're opening the settings, you're going to be changing things, so it has to stop the hooker engine to make sure like everything gets in and all that. So it's not good to do that. So make sure you're out of a game, then you can change it, update fine. So that's kind of a big change for the Reaper. So to help the people out who want to go back to the way it was or not. So now you don't need to change the file or anything. You can just put the setting on and just leave it. Okay. Then the last kind of big thing is I fixed a bug for the OpenFire light guns. The analog value wasn't being saved in the light gun save file. I forgot to add it to because I think the gun for IR and the OpenFire are the only light guns that have the analog value. I'm not using it right now for anything, but I saw it wasn't saving it, and I was like, so I updated that to save it. But also, I programmed it so it shouldn't do anything. So when you load up an old save file from version 1.1.3b, it won't complain or anything. It'll just add the default value into it. So you won't see anything weird or happening from it. So it should work fine. You can go in and change the value and it'll be saved so actually when I do have advanced features, it will have it there. But since I'm not using the analog value for anything and probably won't for a while, it doesn't really change anything. But I saw that and I was like, oh crap, I gotta fix that. So yeah, I did. So but those are pretty much all the changes. So that's very small release. So I just kind of did a couple small things to get it in and get it out, so then I can finally start working on the display stuff. So, but I was thinking this might be a good time just to give like an update on where Hook of the Reaper is and where it's going. So it's about actually 2 months since I released version 1.0.0. It's actually 63 days ago. It was released on February 12th, where today is April 16th. So it's been pretty short. So I went from 3 light guns to 8 light guns now with the X Gunner. Yeah, I'll be up to 8 light guns. So it's been pretty fast going. So I've been making a lot of changes. So and also I've been working with some companies. So I worked with OpenFire team, and they actually gave me a light gun to work out with, which helps out a lot because the light gun they gave me has a display, which will help out a lot, for display. And also I've been talking to Ultimark, and they're willing to help me out to give me some things for testing out. So when I do the LEDs to display, I should have hardware I could test out during that. So that's really nice. Also, I've talked to Blamcom a little. They're very nice, and I need to contact them soon. I contacted them right before we did the basement stuff, and it wasn't feeling good. Then we did the basement stuff, and I was out. So if Blamecom's listening, I'm sorry I haven't contacted you, but yeah, I've been pretty much sitting in bed and sleeping, and yeah. So I haven't been doing well, but finally, like I said, getting back up to it. But then, and also I know the Xena light gun group has contacted me on YouTube, so I joined the Discord, but haven't talked to them that much. So I need to do that soon. So for the plan for Hook of the Reaper is, like I said, get the gun. First thing is there are 2 light guns left. So the Xena light gun group is one of them, and the second one is a super secret one. So I can't really talk about it. But I think some people will be really happy about it. But so I only have those 2 light guns left, and I have to get the light gun display done. then that will lock down the commands, which is good. So when I finally lock down that commands, I can get all the game files done, because I didn't want to do any more game files until I had all the commands done, because I didn't want to do all the game files and add a command in and go, oh no, then I have to add all the game files to all the commands. So it wasn't good. So that's why I kind of wanted to wait a little until I get that done. So when the display stuff's done, I finally can get all the game files and database up and going. Then after that, I'll probably get done with the main output sender.exe, which I kind of talked about. That's for the lightgun version for, I think, the PS2, Dolphin, I think DuckStation, I think the PS1 emulator. I think there's like 4 emulators that use it. So I was just going to take the code from the guy, which is written in C#, and just, instead of outputting it to the Windows stuff, output it to the network. So it should be pretty easy to do. But then after I get done with that, then I'll finally get to the LED controllers and displays, which I'll be doing the Ultramark LED controller first, of course. Then I'll do all the other kind of displays and LED controllers. Then after that, I'll finally get done. I'll probably get a wiki put up on GitHub. Then I'll probably take some time off from Hook of the Reaper to get some other projects done. Then after I get the other projects done, so I'll probably come back, and that's when I'll finally do the advanced features kind of I was talking about, and probably update the game files and database. So also another thing, another guy on YouTube had a good suggestion. I think it was scissors, rocks, scissors. I think it was. Sorry if I'm getting it right. I think it's scissors, rock, scissors. He said, why don't you just, scan the ports and look for what light guns are in, then you can assign the light guns. And that kind of solves the problem kind of with the player assignment stuff. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. Because I thought about scanning the ports, but that was kind of making sure everything was connected and all that. But he made a good suggestion with that, with the gaming, actually saying, hey, you should probably do a priority list with the player's assignment and what is plugged in. The only thing I don't like about it, because it's always scanning the ports, but that's not that horrible. I mean, tons of other programs scan ports, so it doesn't take up that much computer bandwidth. But so that'll probably be one of maybe the advanced features I'll be doing in the future. So, but that's it. Pretty much short, but take care. Bye.